I've been teaching people to drive since 2009, and in that time I've learnt a thing or two about how to help someone be less nervous when learning. However, I've also noticed how I can make things worse. So in this video I'm going to share with you 5 ways a driving instructor can actually make a learner driver more anxious.
I've been waiting here ages. Oh no, now it's my turn.
Go after that grey car.
No way, I can't go that fast, I'll stall.
Go now.
What?
You need to go. We can't stay here all day.
Oh, I'm going to be stuck here forever.
You see that white van? If there's a space, you need to go. Go on, you can go, you can make it.
Oh, I can't.
Look, when I tell you to go, you just have to go.
That's easy for you to say.
See this black car? After the black car, you have to go. Go on, go, go. Putting a pupil under pressure to pull out at a junction, or even worse, me getting frustrated with them when they don't go when I want them to, that's going to make them more nervous. For one, I'm encouraging them into the junction when they're not ready. They don't feel comfortable, yet I'm pressuring them to go. Also, next time they get to a junction, they're not just thinking for themselves and making their own decision, is it safe for me to go? They're worrying about me, their driving instructor. They're thinking, oh, is it safe to go? And if I don't go now, is my instructor going to think I'm hesitant? And then they're going to start going when it isn't safe. And the same on their test. They won't just be making their own decisions and going when they feel comfortable. They're going to be worried about their examiner's opinion. Does the examiner think I'm hesitant? Because they're so used to their instructor thinking they were hesitant. Of course, if my pupil goes to pull out and it's dangerous, I'll stop them from doing that and I'll explain why. But instead of telling my pupil when to go at junctions, what I prefer to do is help them make their own decision. Let's say there's a car coming that's signalling. I say, see that car signal? Does that mean you've got time to go? Or you see that red car? The space after the red car. Is that big enough for you to make it? If you get ready now and go as the red car passes you, do you have time? So I like to help them make their own decisions instead of telling them when to go. And if they're sitting there and never moving, even for easy opportunities, that just means that they're not ready for that bit of road yet. It's too difficult. I need to take them somewhere easier.
I've been waiting here ages. Oh no, now it's my turn.
Don't rush. Many new drivers struggle with this one. Can you see any gaps?
Not at the moment. The cars are all too close together.
Yeah, it's quite busy, isn't it? What about after that white van? Is there time for you to make it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was a small gap. I tell you what, try getting ready if there's a maybe. That way you'll have a head start. What about after the black car?
I'll try.
Suddenly taking the wheel can also make a pupil feel more nervous. If my pupil is driving, let's say near the curb, and I'm sitting there getting tense, hot and sweaty, worried that we're going to hit it soon, and then just before they hit it, I'll wait for this bus to pass first before I do what I'm going to do. Just before they hit it, whoa, I jar the wheel to the right. That's going to make my pupil feel more nervous. It's quite normal for a new driver not to drive in the middle of their half of the road. They're going to be usually to the left. But what I find helps is taking the wheel, but taking it early and gently and explaining, you're a little bit left at the moment. I'm just going to position you where you need to be. This is now the center of your lane. Try and keep the car here. And what I may do as well is I may even hold the wheel for a while just to get them used to the feeling of being here. And I'll give them some advice on how they can judge the center of their lane. I have a video all about it. I'll leave a link to it in the top right hand corner of your screen. I think there's a lot of pressure on driving instructors not to use the dual controls and not to take the wheel. So what happens is they end up using them very late and harshly, or sometimes so late that it's too late and we whack the curb anyway. I think it's actually better to use them as a learning aid, to actually guide the pupil where they need to go so they have time to learn that position. Most pupils don't want to drive near the curb. They just think that near the curb's the middle of their lane because they haven't developed the correct perception yet.
Oh, where is he taking me now? I've been waiting here ages.
The exit road's moving, get going now.
Oh, I stalled. Oh, start again. That's handy.
There's a shield on the roundabout, go now, quickly. No, don't go, you're too late. You must go after the red now. Go, get going.
Oh, that was jerky. I nearly stalled.
Go into the right lane, we need the right lane for later. Steer to the right, more to the right, you're in between two lanes. Clutch down, clutch down, clutch down, we're going to stall.
Oh, I stalled again. Oh, start again. Like that.
Don't worry, little bit of gas now, lift the clutch, get going. At the last mini roundabout we're going right, so signal right, clutch down, don't stall it this time. Lots of cars from the right, so we need a shield from the left. See this black car on the left? That's your shield. Get some gas, start lifting the clutch, go now, take your shield, get going. Right, we can't go now. I don't think I've got time, the cars on the right are coming too quickly. We'll see if we can get the next one. It's quite busy though, so we might be here a while. Look left, look for any shields. I think I see another shield coming, that white truck. Get some gas, start lifting the clutch, come on, go now, get going. Oh, I'm not fast enough, it takes me too long. Okay, hopefully we can get the next one. Trouble is now though, the exit road is blocked, so we can't go or we'll be blocking the roundabout. So even if there's a shield on the left, wait here until your exit road is moving. So that motorbike, you can't take that because your exit road isn't going. Oh, you're going anyway. Come on, go quick before the black car comes, get going. Into the left lane, it's quite narrow, don't hit the curb. A bit more to the right, you're quite close to the curb. One of my most important skills is judging what route is suitable for my pupil's current ability. If I take my pupil to a route which is above their ability, it's not likely going to go well. They're going to make loads of errors, they're going to get stressed, probably more nervous, maybe go backwards and even possibly start to hate their lesson. It's a mistake I've made many times before, and there are two main reasons why I fall into this trap. The first reason could simply be that my pupil lives in an area which is not suitable for their current ability, and the nearest area is a long way away, 20 minutes, half an hour, and I don't want to drive them there and back because I feel like I'm not giving them value for money. Another reason why I may fall into this trap is just being lazy. I've taught many people to drive and I can be like, oh, do I want to go through all those steps again? Or I get cocky and think, you know what I can do is I'll tell them what to do, and as long as they do exactly what I say when I say it, they can drive everywhere and everything will go well and everyone's happy. That rarely works. It can work. If I get an incredibly talented pupil, yes, that might work, but for the majority of people it doesn't, and all I'm doing by doing that is risking safety and making my pupil more nervous. I can't stop my pupil panicking and slamming on the brakes or stalling in the middle of a junction. If I have a pupil who doesn't live near a suitable area, what I prefer to do is explain it to them and say, where you live, that's not good for your level. We need to be here. That place is 20 minutes away. Either I can drive you from your house to this area and back again after the lesson, which is going to take 40 minutes. And if it's a 2-hour lesson, you've lost 40 minutes of your 2-hour lesson, or you can meet me there. And nearly always they decide to meet me there. They can get a lift, get a bus, or even cycle. That way they get in their full 2-hour lesson in the area which is suitable for them to learn. I break down driving into 4 modules, and I think it's quite important to follow these modules. The first one is learning how to drive the car. That's moving away, stopping, changing gears, stopping at the side of the road and positioning. Module 2 is using the road. That would be basic junctions, mini roundabouts, traffic lights, pedestrian crossings, dealing with parked cars. But module 2, everything's done in quiet areas where there's plenty of places to stop. Then module 3 takes those skills, and by the time my pupil is at module 3, they're already quite good at driving. But it takes those skills and puts them in high pressure situations, big junctions, multiple lanes, lots of traffic, dual carriageways, country roads that are narrow and fast. So they need to have good ability at changing gear and good positioning. But module 3 are places where you don't have somewhere to stop. It may take a while to find somewhere to pull over if I need to talk to them. So I want to make sure they can drive pretty well before we do that. And then module 4 is reversing, because I find teaching reversing easier once I've taught them how to drive. It seems to take a lot less time overall, therefore the entire learning process is more efficient. If you're interested in the order in which I teach people my syllabus, I'll leave a link up there in the top right hand corner of your screen to a video I made earlier. Something else I consider when choosing a route for my pupil is not only their current driving ability, but what it is they're trying to learn. So let's say I'm trying to help them learn how to turn right at traffic lights. Well, I'll design a route where there's lots of right turns at traffic lights, preferably in a circle. That way they get to go around and do the same junctions over and over. So if they mess a junction up or they don't do it very well, they have a chance to go back and try it again and improve it and keep doing it until they get it right. That works better in my experience than driving around aimlessly, do a junction, it doesn't go very well, but then we never go back to it to have a chance to correct it.
So, clutch down, first gear. Oh, I don't feel ready for this. Set the gas. Oh, too much. Try and press it only the thickness of a pound coin.
Pedal's so sensitive.
Stop moving your foot, you're revving it up and
Stay
down.
still.
Try and keep it at about 1,500 revs.
Ooh.
Oh, clutch down, clutch down. Didn't tell you to bring the clutch up yet. We're moving. When we bring the clutch up, don't bring it up that high. We just want the beginning of the bite point. Try again. That's it. Do your observations. Don't forget your right blind spot as well.
What's that?
Oh, we're
noise?
moving. Clutch down, clutch down. The clutch is too high. We've got to try that again. You keep lifting the clutch too high and you keep moving your right foot and revving the engine. Just a little bit of bite point, not too much. That's it. Doing your observations. Good. Oh, we stalled. You lifted the clutch too high as you checked your right blind spot. We'll try again. Get the clutch down and turn the key. The engine will start. There we go. Try again. So, bit of gas again. Keep your foot steady.
I hate this gas pedal.
Little bit of bite point. Okay, wait for the car behind. There is someone behind. See what they're going now. So, little bit of bite point. Just the beginning. Not too high. Do your observations.
Maybe I should just do automatic.
Oh, we're moving. Take the handbrake off. Quick, get the handbrake off. We're moving with the handbrake on.
Oh,
now
why is
look
this
far
handbrake so hard?
so that you go straight. You're weaving from left to right. Look far so you drive straight.
I'm trying
Keep the
to
car
keep it
straight.
straight.
Right, we need to pull over. So check your mirrors, signal, move towards the curb, go towards the curb, start braking, brake, slow down, clutch down, clutch down, clutch down. Ah, we stalled. Never mind. Pull the handbrake up. Come on, pull it up. And clutch down so that you can take it out of gear. That's it. Right, we'll try again.
That's a classic case of information overload on a first lesson. The pupil is having to deal with 3 pedals, a steering wheel, 3 mirrors, 2 blind spots, the possibility of signalling, and trying to keep it in a good position as they go when they've never driven before. Off the cuff whilst listening to someone. They have no experience at this. Let's not forget that's after they've listened to me explain how to set the seat. Forwards, backwards, up and down, backrest, head restraint, how to make sure the door is closed properly, make sure you put your seatbelt on, how to set the steering wheel, how to set the mirrors, what is a blind spot, what is the gas pedal, what does it do, the brake, the clutch, explaining what the clutch does, the gear stick, the handbrake. By the time the pupil gets moving, their brain is frazzled. That's how I was taught to teach. That's how I used to teach. I didn't get much success. The pupil would feel nervous. Oh, is that how all lessons are going to be? All this information? I can't possibly learn manual. It's way too complicated. I don't teach like that anymore. I've learned better. I get them in the passenger seat. I get them to use the dual control brake pedal when we're stationary, and they can see how that moves the brake pedal on this side of the car. Then we get going. And I've explained to them, you can only press that pedal when I ask you to. So I go slow, I make sure it's safe, no one's around, and then I say, go on, try the brake then. Well, that was a bit harsh, wasn't it? That usually teaches them that they need to be gentle with the brake. They do it a few times and start to get used to it. Start to learn how to smooth out the ending of the brake by releasing the brake pedal at the end as well. Then we move on to the clutch. They're often surprised that lifting the clutch makes the car move. Practice the clutch for a while until they get used to it. Then I get them here and play with the gas, how sensitive that is, how they can hold a steady RPM on the tachometer. It's important to remember that driving is a skill. And a skill cannot be taught, it can only be practiced. So the best thing I can do to help my pupils learn isn't overload them with information, but is to help them practice one thing at a time whenever it's possible, so that they can focus on that one individual thing and learn it properly without feeling overwhelmed.
You're coming into a 40 limit now and you're only doing 22, so more gas, let's get going. Try and get up to 40. Okay, I'll try. Come on, faster. That's it, you're in the 30s now, 34. Oh, it's hard to keep the car in a straight line. You're weaving, look far, try and keep the car straight. Stop moving the wheel, small corrections. Look far down the road. That's it, 38, that's better. Oh, I don't like this, I'm going near the middle of the road. What if a car comes the other way? Try and keep it straight, look down the road.
Putting my pupils under pressure to speed up when they're not ready for it doesn't usually work out very well. They get nervous, understandably, they're going faster than they're comfortable with, and their steering usually starts to deteriorate because they're not actually capable of driving that fast and keeping it in a straight line. It takes time, it takes practice to get that skill. So I like to let them practice, let them be slow and gradually build it up. Most people do build up their speed with practice over time. If they're too slow for an area, then I'll take them to another area where going slow is fine. It's very rare actually that I get a pupil who doesn't speed up on their own as their skill improves. I can tell when someone is going slower than they can handle. I can feel like, oh yeah, your position's good. You're as straight as an arrow, yet you're doing 20 miles an hour in a 30. I feel confident that my pupil can go faster. I don't want to say go faster though, because once I do that, they're now trying to do the speed that I want them to do. What I would do is reason with them. What's the speed limit here? Is it clear? Can you go faster on this straight? Would you be comfortable doing that? Explain that when it's 30, if it's safe to do 30, we should do if we can, so we help traffic flow. I don't want to put them under pressure. I find that doesn't work, but I do obviously want them to progress. Most people progress on their own to the point where I don't have to say anything and just let them drive at a speed they feel comfortable with, and before I know it, they're going over the speed limit and I have to say, look, you're actually getting good enough now that you're reaching the speed limit and going over. You need to keep an eye on your speedo. On country roads though, it usually does require a bit of encouragement, because the speed that is expected of my pupils on country roads in order to pass the test is higher than most would assume, because they're narrow. And as they're narrow, well, it makes sense to think, we can't go that fast on these roads. But if it's clear and straight, you can see it's safe to go fast, well then you can go faster. So the way I deal with those roads is I give a demonstration drive. I demonstrate the sort of speed I do in different areas so that they can see how you can actually drive quite quickly on some of these straights, even if the road is narrow, when you can see it's clear. And then let them practice and basically say, the limit's 60, don't worry about the limit, just go as quick as you can while staying safe. And if you do get near the limit, don't go over it. Actually, what usually happens is my pupil wants to do more than 30 in the 30 and they have to watch their speed to make sure they don't go over. But on a country road, they tend to want to be a bit slow. And that's because urban roads where it's 30 are quite wide. You have pavements. So the sensation of speed is low. But the reason why we drive slow is because there's lots of hazards, pedestrian crossings, and there's houses, and we don't want loud vehicles going through neighbourhoods. But on country roads, it's narrow, so the sensation of speed is higher. So usually they're watching their speed in 30s and make sure they don't go over the limit, but on country roads they can actually enjoy themselves and press on a bit. If you found the video interesting or helpful, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy, and that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car that you're using for your practice. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest. And you can change your car on that quote without having to do the whole quote again to find out how much it costs to insure different cars. That's useful if you're shopping around for cars and want to know how much it costs to insure them. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.